No one on my dad's side graduated either, pulled me out of school. I moved across the state and started going to my old school again, and the teachers didn't check in on if I was supposed to be there. Jer and his dad sent several angry emails about it because it essentially segregated him from his friends. They took the sign down pretty soon after that. I guess that counts, but it was very brief enforcement of a rule. Don't know if this counts, but a guy in my school was the reason for the boys' bathroom being locked in between breaks because they poured washing powder and detergent down the toilet, then flushing, causing a foam party. If anyone needed the bathroom, we had to go to the office and fill out a form and then get a key. It lasted about 2 weeks until the teachers and most of our senior students kicked up a fit about it because it was taking about 10 minutes out of your class time if you needed to go, rather than the 2 minutes it used to take. Plus, the girls' bathroom was still open, so it became an equality issue and they got unlocked again. While working at McDonald's when I was younger, I thought it would be cool to make a quesadilla with what was in the kitchen. It turned out really well, but my manager ratted me to the GM, and the next day there was a sign in the kitchen stating that only items on the menu were to be made by cooks. When I was a freshman in college, I brewed beer in my dorm room. I got caught and written up, but it was before I added the yeast, so my defense was that I did not have alcohol in the dorm, and was just landing to bring the mixture to a 21-year-old friend off campus prior to adding the yeast. It was a private university, and they called bullcrap, but the penalty was just a slap on the wrist, and they changed the residency code to specifically prohibit fermenting yeast. That's not bad defense, to be honest, but it obviously didn't work, and at least the punishment was, like they said, just a slap on the wrist. I wasn't the reason for the rule, but I was the one who implemented it. I was the network admin at a middle school back when mice balls were still a thing. Some of the kids were regularly stealing the balls out of the mice and taking them with them, so we'd have to replace the mice out of our meager spares. Because of that, I implemented the policy that all mice were to be turned upside down at the end of class, and the teacher was to walk around and visually inspect each mouse to ensure the ball was still in place. Ended the problem right there. During my junior year, my physics teacher did the mousetrap car assignment and held a competition to see who could make a mousetrap car go the farthest and fastest. I spent the whole night before making it. The next day, I did a test run right before the testing, and my rear axle snapped in half, basically ensuring that my mousetrap car was not going to move. Anyway, the teacher assigned 50 points for having your mousetrap car there, and 50 points if it moved. He gave each student at least 3 attempts to get his mousetrap car to move. Everyone in my class got theirs to move, and I knew mine was basically fricked. We were doing these runs in the hallways, and I was so glad that no one came out to see how mine will do. When it came to my turn, I set up my mousetrap car and let it go. The car was barely moving, and I was losing my mind due to how fricked I thought it was. My teacher had to come closer, get on his knees, and see that the car is actually slowly moving. Confused students came out due to my celebration and howling only to see the mousetrap car at my knees. I got full credits for that assignment. The physics teacher did the assignment again my senior year, and I saw that he changed it so that your mousetrap car had to go at least 1 foot to get those points. Maybe there were other students that were reasons for it, but as of my knowledge, the teacher had me in mind.
This episode is brought to you by Jet2 Holidays and Visit Malta. Malta is perfect for adventurous travelers. Explore the historical sites, dine on traditional food, hike at a nature reserve, or unwind with some yoga. Choose a Jet2 Holidays package that suits you, including your hotel, flights, return transfers, and 22 kilograms of baggage. Book Malta now with Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. ABTA and ATOL protected, subject to availability and conditions.
I went to a Catholic school that had a strict uniform policy. I'm the oldest of 4. This will be important later. For Halloween, seniors are allowed to dress up while the underclassmen wear uniforms. Well, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to 12th grade and always wore a uniform. My senior year, I came into school on Halloween with a shirt and jeans on. When asked what I was, I replied, a public school student. Next year, my brother was a senior, and when the list of unacceptable costumes came up, public school student was on it. My youngest brother graduated in 2016, and it's still on the handout. So back in the day, there was an electronics store known as Circuit City. The attire was pretty simple: red polo shirt, black or khaki pants, and black shoes. Around this time, Heelys became popular, and I decided that I needed a pair of those loafers. I got mine in black and wore them shift after shift, scooting around the store and messing with customers as I silently glided between aisles and snuck up behind them. On my last day, I may have decided to have a few beers before work and figured I would put in a few hours, get my check and bail. I also may have decided that running in said Heelys to chase after a soon-to-be former co-worker was a fantastic idea, and subsequently tripped, which resulted in me flying flying into a yellow concrete pole. This resulted in me hitting the pole with the palm of my hand, think Superman, but more idiotic and with poor posture, and breaking my arm. After getting a fancy cast, I filed workers' compensation because, why the heck not? After getting approved, since there was nothing defining whether or not the black shoes were supposed to be wheel-free, Circuit City promptly amended the handbook and stated that flat black bottomed shoes were the only acceptable kind. A year later, they went under, and I still have my Heelys. Even as an adult, I still catch myself being slightly jealous of kids with Heelys, because I'm like, I'm too old to wear Heelys, but I guess not. But also, I wish I had Heelys when I was a kid. Uni rolled out monthly internet traffic quotas because several students reportedly downloaded what at the time in history were inordinately excessive amounts of data. This was almost 20 years ago. My group of friends knew some people who worked in the uni's IT management department, so a few days after that was announced, we go by their office to head off for movie night, and I noticed a sheet of paper with a list of student numbers and associated traffic volumes posted on the team billboard. My student number is sitting right at the very top. The reason why it called my attention, comfortably sporting over 5 gigabytes of traffic, 5 times and 10 times the amount for the second and third students on the list. This was during the time where private cable internet had access to 640 kilobytes and institutions like universities had T1 connections.
$2,500. 2,500. 100. 50, 40, 40, 30, 20, 10, retard, retard, 30, 20, 10, retard, retard. Stalled, stalled.